Hey guys, just a reminder, this is not official medical advice. For such, please seek an appointment with a licensed medical provider. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Dive Into Diet. I'm with nutrition coach Lucas Schmidt. And Lucas, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I am wonderful. And this one, I do this for the parents. I'm assuming there's a lot of parents out there watching the show, listening to the show on audio. It's almost back to school time. We're heading into August as we record this. But also, I also want people to take this with them throughout the year.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for how to coach your kids on staying healthy in the school system? And if there's like a number, we'll put that on the thumbnail. 5 tips, 4 tips. I know this is off the cuff for you, Lucas. Where does your brain go when I talk about this?
Well, when you first mentioned back to school, I got a little reflexively depressed because when I was a kid, I always got depressed at the end of summer.
I know, it sucks.
Because it's like, oh, I got to go back to school. I got to get up early. I got to crawl in this car and ride to school and be depressed that I'm going to be in school for the next 7 hours. But not enough of that. I'm a grown up now. I don't have to be in school. That's a great question. So, knowing what I know now, I would say school focus is often hard in school. So one of the things, energy levels, things like that, that's what people think of. But I think protein focus is always important, especially if you don't know a lot about food. It can be very daunting to find or look for or understand what I should be eating. And so I try to break things down in a simple way. And if I'm talking to a kid, simple is good. Simple is good for adults, by the way, too.
True.
But, kids are still learning things, so I like to be simple. If they have to look for something, let's start with the idea that maybe they have limited choices. Maybe they don't pack their lunch. Let's start with those people. Okay. People that eat whatever the school gives them at the cafeteria. Usually you have options in the cafeteria at this point. Like you sort of build your plate. You go through the line and you get to pick an item, this and that, if it at all resembles like when I was in school. So with that being said, if you can teach kids where the protein is, have them at least, because I'm not saying it's all going to be healthy, but whatever the highest protein food they can ask for, that's what they should be asking for. Okay, that's number one.
Okay.
The next thing is to teach them where all the sugar lies and teach them to try and limit that. So things like cakes, puddings. I'm trying to think of convenient things that are offered in a lunch line. Like cups of pudding I could see being offered, banana pudding, soda, things like that. Right. That's not going to be the best for their attention at school either. You'll get hyped up on sugar for like 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and then you are ready to crash and go to bed. And some kids, their lunch period is at like 11 something.
It's so early. Like I had lunch one time in high school.
Excuse me.
It's like 10:30.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, if you're crashing at 11:15 and you've still got until 2 or 3 p.m., it's just gonna be a rough day.
Yeah.
So the only exception to that would be is if they have like a very high athletic period built in the middle of the day, then, you can eat some sugar after that. It's not going to affect you quite as the same. And maybe if you've emphasized protein and you're exercising, because there's some people have lifting period during school or like gym, and they actually do something in gym. Yeah. Now, if you're going to gym and you're just like walking around the gymnasium 3 laps or whatever and talking to your friends until class is over, that doesn't qualify you to eat any kind of excess sugar. I'm talking about those who have signed up for the very high, like, intensity exercise-related courses. So teach the kids, okay, look for the protein. If you have a burger versus the rectangle pizza that kids drown in ranch dressing, which is disgusting, by the way, psychos. There's a little bias there. Every person sitting around me at lunch would get that rectangle pizza, and then they would ruin it by pouring ranch dressing like a river all over it. That's another thing. Teach your kids that ranch is despicable. That's what you could teach your kids. That'll save them a lot of excess calories. And I'm half joking, but no, like the dressings, covering all your food in the dressings is nonsense for your body. It's just too much. Okay.
That's a good tip.
Like, don't be
It's a simple
drowning.
thing.
Nothing needs to be drowned in ranch dressing. Okay. Except maybe like the worst criminal you can imagine. Drown them in ranch dressing. Not like to death, but just pour it all over them. It's a good punishment. I'd rather be thrown in a cell.
No more ranch. No more ranch.
So, no, but in seriousness, let's say your options presented today are: do you want the chicken sandwich, or do you want the rectangle pizza, or do you want, I don't know how many entrees they usually offer. Opt for whatever has more protein. So the chicken sandwich has more protein than the rectangle pizza. Do you know what I mean by rectangle pizza?
I see it vividly.
Perfect rectangle.
Yeah.
Sliced it up. Yeah. Gross, but delicious. Just even bad pizza is pretty darn good. It's just hard to beat bread, tomato, and cheese.
You are talking to
it's hard to beat it.
The number one pizza fan is right here. Yeah.
So focus on the protein. If you can teach kids where the protein is, it doesn't even have to be so specific as a number of grams. We've talked about grams of protein per body, blah, blah, blah. That to me, if it's depending on the age of the student, that's even too complicated. Just be like, listen, meat has protein. Get the meat.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
After that, it becomes a game of, okay, now that you know that, let's look for things that have way less sugar in them.
Okay.
That could mean asking for an extra side of veggies instead of the dessert if the lunch person will let you. So we don't want to undereat, of course, but that's not usually a risk with the lunch line. There's usually plenty of food, but we don't want to be starving. But those are the things we want to focus on. Get a bunch of water. If they offer unsweet tea, fine. I don't know what caffeinated things they offer at schools, but if they offer water, get the water. Don't get the soda and all that stuff. That's easy. Kids know what soda is. Okay. Now, let's talk about like the vending machine, because that is like, at least when I was there in school, that was like a favorite thing of everybody. I got to go by the vending machine and get something fun or night, Again, opt for the protein option. Those are limited. Depends on how bougie your vending machine is. Most vending machines don't have protein bars in them. Okay. Yeah. Most of them have the cookies, the grandma's cookies with the little chocolate chips, or the almond little delicious all that crap. But if you can find like mixed nuts, most of them have like peanuts. It's not the best food in the world, but it's got protein in it.
Yep.
So opt for that, and it's good. Good number of calories to keep you full. Not real high in sugar unless they're honey roasted. Don't get those. The plain salted peanuts are usually available in a vending machine. Sometimes you could find, again, this is like a more fancy pants vending machine, like a Kind bar.
Yep.
Still sugary, but at least it's got almonds and nuts and protein in there.
Yep.
I'm just trying to help you find protein at school. I'm not endorsing all these foods as the best thing ever, but when your options are limited by what they present you, you have to just hunt for the protein. So that's number one. Now, if you can pack your lunch, that's a totally different ball game. What would I pack in my lunch? If I have a cooling pack, I would put an Oikos zero sugar. It's not actually zero. What they mean is they have not added sugar, but they have a newer one that has 20 grams of protein in it, which is really high for Greek yogurt, and it's delicious. I would put one of those in there.
Yep. With
some, that's just a part of it though. You could have, but it's a good source of protein. But you could add something like veggies, something like that. If your stomach tolerates fiber pretty well, cellulose. If you're not torn up by vegetables and things like that, why would I add those? Because they are fairly filling and they're low calories. So you're not eating excess calories. So, and they're not gonna spike your blood sugar.
Okay.
So that's the main reason I would put like celery, things like maybe some peanut butter in there if you find good peanut butter. If you have full control and a cooling or a microwave available, I mean, if mom or dad has cooked a healthy protein-rich meal, like an example of something that's good to reheat, that tastes good and is filling and high protein would be like a pasta dish that you made with meat sauce, but the noodles are made of like lentil pasta or something
Okay.
like that. It's like super high protein. If you ate meat sauce on lentil pasta, you're getting like, depending on the serving size, you could get up to 50 grams of protein from that.
That's an
So,
easy meal to make, wouldn't it be?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Even without the meat sauce, you make a tomato sauce that's pretty simple and don't add a bunch of sugar and crap to it. The lentil pasta's got a lot of protein in it.
Is that going to mess up your stomach any?
If you have an intolerance to beans, yeah, it can really blow you up. Now, if that's the case, then that's not a good idea.
Okay.
So these have a lot of caveats, but we're just talking simple stuff.
Yeah.
Again, but it's still this. To me, the rule is still the same.
Okay.
Emphasize protein, some healthy fats, and low glycemic foods to get you through the day, so you're not crashing. Okay. So, and if you're gonna eat in the morning, don't eat something sugary. Focus on protein and fat. You know, so you've got some food in your system, but you're not going to have this spike because nobody wants to roll out of bed at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, eat a pastry, and then crash at 7:30 at first period.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare. Nobody's awake at first period anyway, except for the few kids that are, and they're crazy and get really good grades and make everybody else look bad. But and then they do really well in life. Gosh.
And they're super successful.
Yeah, you know, those people.
Um,
So that's the number one rule for me is find the protein. Find the protein.
Now, you didn't mention lunch meat. Do you have any? I'm a big
Yeah,
like
it's
turkey.
weighing the pros and cons. So
Okay.
if you don't have time to pack the lunch as a parent and you really want your kid to get protein, let's just talk quick travel. The Greek yogurt's great. String cheese is a good source of fat and protein. Mozzarella cheese, something like that. Beef jerky without all the sugar added, like Tillamook has a 0 sugar version of beef jerky.
They do?
These are high. Yeah, you got to look for it, but you can find it at Ingles or order it on Amazon. Beef biltong, which is another type of beef jerky, you can find it at Aldi. Really low sugar, really cheap. These are high protein, convenient, travel well foods. The yogurt you want to keep cool, but it'll be fine in your lunchbox if you have the cooling pack that most of them have for most of the day.
Yeah.
You want to eat it, like before, like around lunchtime. But if you've got to use lunch meat and it's a choice between a few preservatives or not adequate protein or not adequate nutrition, choose the protein, go with the lunch meat. That's me. That's what I would choose. Another thing you could do is buy those frozen chicken tenderloin things and just cook a whole bag of them at the top of the week and like put some olive oil or something nice on there to make it more interesting. And you could just pack 2 or 3 of those every day in your lunchbox. Keep it cool, cooked, But that's easy. That's something you can do. But yeah, focus on the protein. So that's what I would do.
No, it's those are great tips, Lucas, and I hope this helps some of the parents out there. I hope it helps some of the kids who are wanting to eat as healthy as they can in in not a perfect
Yeah.
eating environment. So
Another thing I just thought of this for mornings. It's lower glycemic. It just depends on the oats. I don't think oats are like the end all be all food that a lot of people think. They're not the worst thing. They just cause me terrible gas. So for TMI, but for me personally, my body just didn't like them. But if you tolerate oats, you can make overnight oats. You can buy like a protein powder that's low sugar, like Sun Warrior or a Pure Whey, whatever you want, something like that. If you tolerate whey. And you essentially make a smoothie separate with that, like using whatever liquid. Pour that in dry oats and stir it up really well. Add a little sea salt, your nuts or your whatever. Set it in the fridge overnight. It'll slowly absorb. And that's a high protein oats. Now, if you don't get instant oats, okay, they're already pre-cooked and they'll spike your blood sugar faster. But some rolled oats, they don't tend to spike the sugar as fast, and they're filling, and at least you're delivering your body some high protein. So, and to those like athletes in school, like cross country team runners, they usually have practice before school starts a lot of the time. So if you had overnight oats ready and you did your 6-mile run before school, you could eat those afterwards and use those carbs for a good reason and replenish on protein. That goes for any sport. That's just the first one I thought of because those kids were always really early to school and had already run 6 miles while I was just now waking up. So overachievers.
One thing I want to ask you, Lucas, while I have you is peanut butter. It's easy for the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a
best version?
Yeah, like I know it's not
Yeah,
perfect.
I would opt for the fresh ground. If you go to the grocery store, most grocery stores have it.
Most do. Yeah.
You go over to produce aisle. Usually, I'm thinking of Ingles right now because it's local to me. And there's an area where they've just ground it up. And look for the one that doesn't have anything but peanuts in it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. No, it's not the worst thing. It's technically a bean or a legume.
Do you prefer almond butter?
Not necessarily. I guess the reason I'm not the biggest fan of those is they sort of become and this doesn't apply to school. This is general. People think, oh, I can eat tons of peanut butter and it's really good for me. A lot of peanut butter has added stuff to it, sugar, things like that. And also it's a very high calorie food, very high calorie. Nuts in general are high calorie. That doesn't make them bad. It's just very easy to abuse them. It's super easy to overindulge because anything is delicious. It's a very strong flavor, and it's very hard to stop eating it. So, but if you're on the go and you've pre-portioned it, that's not a problem usually. Some people also, it has some pro-inflammatory issues going on, even if they're not allergic. But that's kind of gray area. It's not really pertinent to today. So yeah, generally though, it's fine. It's a fairly good source of plant protein. Personally, I'd rather eat peanuts than almonds. That's just me for taste. And I tend to bloat up really bad on almonds.
Okay.
So they just don't like my digestive system. Peanuts I tolerate pretty well. So, and they're tasty. So.
Lucas, this is an important episode, and I think it's going to be super timely. We're going to put this out, hopefully right with school starting in Tennessee, where we are. But thank you for this. Is there any other tips you want to to the kids or the parents or the teachers? Anything else that we need to cover in this pod?
If your kid loves sweet tea. It's a Southern thing, but going through pals and getting my sweet tea on the way to school.
Oh yeah.
I get it.
It's a thing.
My suggestion for beverages like that is you go on Amazon and you buy something called liquid monk fruit extract. Monk Drops brand is a good brand. It's like $15. It's a little bottle this big, and there's 150 to 170 servings in that little bottle. It's very strong stuff. What that is a sweetener that has a far less impact on your blood sugar, if no impact. Some people has zero impact on blood sugar. And why would that be useful? Well, instead of getting a sweet tea and consuming an enormous number of useless calories that crash you, you can buy an unsweet tea and squeeze 3 or 4 or 5 drops into that tea and stir it up and enjoy the same sweet tea with no consequence or very little consequence. So that's just and you can do that to soda too. You can get bubbly or LaCroix, which is flavored water that's carbonated, put a few drops of that sweetener in there, and now it is a sweet soda and you can enjoy it and not worry about the other crap. So that's just a fast suggestion for beverages, because I find beverages are often a problem for people and they don't realize it. They get their sweet tea every day. You can still have your tea, just add that to it. So
could you put that monk fruit in the plain Greek yogurt and it sweeten?
Oh yeah, you can do that to sweeten it up. Yep.
Okay. Sometimes
tastes great.
I'll either want to put honey in it or something, but sometimes honey's not even. It could be too sweet.
Yeah, or honey doesn't. Sometimes the flavor of honey people don't like because it's sort of an interesting flavor mixed with yogurt for some people.
Yeah.
So they don't like it. Monk fruit's pretty neutral. It's just very sweet. Okay. So yeah, that's a great idea. So if you're feeling fancy, you can zest a fresh lemon and then put that in your Greek yogurt.
There we go.
Lemon Greek yogurt. It's really good.
Lucas, man, thank you for this. I hope this helps the people listening and watching. Lucas, is that a pod?
I think so. I hope so.
It's a pod. Guys, thank you all so much. Lucas, thank you for the time today. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your day. Stay healthy this school year. Make it a priority. It'll serve you in the long run, we promise. Lucas, thank you again, man.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Don't go away.